background information about the department. The GPA department has been around for over 50 years. It celebrated its 50th anniversary last year. One of the most distinctive things about the department, it's not really what we study, it's how we run ourselves as a department and how we try to think of the relationship between students and teachers. And one of the things that GPA is famous for is having good relationships between teachers and students. And this actually informs the way in which we teach. In terms of our footprint in Hong Kong, I think that GPA is particularly well known for producing people who work in the public sector. It's particularly well known for producing people who go to work for government, but also working for NGOs, and for giving a very, very comprehensive grounding in politics and public affairs. These are some of the pathways that you could pursue if you come to GPA. You can do a pathway which focuses on comparative politics, on Greater China, on political theory, which is my background. That's about the ideas and concepts that underpin political life. You can focus more on public administration, on international relations, and you will all be doing something which has a kind of professional dimension. That's something that we're building up, giving students more opportunities to do courses that will give you some professional skills for what you do after your time at university. So why GPA? What is so special about the GPA department? Well, apart from the wonderful teachers like me, you will also have a lot of interesting and diverse career options with us. You will have lots of diverse and flexible subject specialisms. You will have a lot of grounding in critical thinking. That's one of the main traditions of the department. We'll teach you how to think critically, not just about politics, but just in general. And you'll also benefit from the kind of close-knit relations, not just between staff and students, but also among students that you get when you come to a department. The departments are often a bit smaller than larger, academic units. You can go to other universities in Hong Kong and go to a faculty talk, and you might see hundreds of people there, and you might think, oh, this is very impressive. I'd like to be a part of that. But actually being part of a larger unit like that can often be a bit less satisfying because you won't get to know as many people, whereas at a department you do. And it's those relationships with people that you will cultivate that will shape your time at university and make it fun. Just talk a little bit about admission. There are three principal ways of coming in to the GPA department. You can come in through the GPAS route, you can come in as a non-GPAS student, or you can come in through the social science broad-based program. That's the option which allows you to basically enroll on a faculty level degree course in social science. And then after a year or two, you will specialize with one or two of the major programs. And that's one of the ways you can join us. I'm not sure I'm even going to attempt to summarize the information on this slide. This is basically the admission grades for our undergraduate programs and how GPA sort of compares. I think there are other people who can comment more confidently than I can on this, but there's nothing particularly unique or unusual about the admission requirements for this program. We're comparable to most of the other programs, I think, in the Faculty of Social Science. There are a series of slides here that talk a little bit about students' experience at GPA. And I feel that I can't really speak on behalf of these students, but you will see here, and I think you can see some of these stories also in the booklet that we've made available to you, that it's always very easy for us to find students who are prepared to share their experience of being in GPA. We always generally can find people who will be very, very willing to share their happy experiences, what they like about the department. You'll see this particular student talks about tutorial sessions. These are small group learning sessions that we really want to protect and keep. It's part of our DNA. It's part of what we've always had. And again, these small tutorials are a good opportunity for you to get to know your teachers more and also to go into the issues in a bit more depth than would be the case. We're also an international program. That means that we have quite a few non-local students. If you do courses with us, you will meet a lot of non-local students. Some of those non-local students won't be major students in our department. There'll be students from other departments who are doing our courses, but we also have some major students from different parts of the world. Here we have Anna, who's a Danish student I've taught, sharing her experience of what it's like to be an international student at GPA. One of the things we do in the department is to give you opportunities to travel. One of the things that you'll be given the option to do when you're at university is to do an exchange program. And the university offers an exchange program run by a part of the university called the Office of Academic Links. So through the Office of Academic Links, you'll be able to visit lots of different universities. But we also have our own exchange programs, which we set up in collaboration with certain institutions. We call it the 3W because all of the institutions that we have exchange programs with begin with W. We have the University of Warwick and the University of Westminster, both of which are from the UK, and we have the University of Waseda in Japan. Actually, the University of Warwick has a particular significance for me because I'm an alumni of that university. It's a very, very good university for the study of politics. It has a very large politics and international studies department, and it's particularly strong when it comes to the study of international relations. Some of the people I work with in my own research are currently employed at Warwick, and I know a lot about the experience of being a student at Warwick, and I'm very happy to share that it's a great place to go. But so is Westminster and Waseda. Again, you can see here testimonies and sharings from students who have taken up this opportunity of studying in Warwick, and students who've had the experience of coming to visit us as well. Actually, we also bring students over from other universities also. Okay, so in addition to that, the department offers a few other important opportunities for students. We have what we call a summer internship co-intelligence program, which basically just allows you to have placements with a number of organizations in Hong Kong. This includes organizations like Edelman, KTA Planning, the Hong Kong Public Opinion Research Institute. In fact, there's a really lovely testimony from one of our students who worked with the Hong Kong Public Opinion Research Institute. And I think this is particularly interesting because it picks up on what I said earlier about the GPA department giving you skills to work in different areas. One of the areas that you could work in is public opinion research. And in order to do that, you'll need to learn how to design surveys, how to carry out surveys, how to interpret the data that you get from that. And Wong Wing Yi here talks about how the 2-month internship he had at the Public Opinion Research Institute enabled him to learn these kinds of skills. We offer a few scholarships as well to give you a little bit of financial support should you need it. There are also lots of scholarships available from the university and from the individual colleges as well. Again, one of the distinctive things about coming to Chinese university is that we have a collegiate system. So in addition to being affiliated with a department, you'll be affiliated to a college as well. And that will give you all sorts of opportunities to meet more people and apply for more scholarships. Okay, I'm going to take a break now and hand you over to 2 of our students who are here, and they're going to share with you their experience of being students in the GPA department. And they're going to speak particularly about the GPA Society and also the GPA debate team. So would you like to come up?
Okay, let me just switch the PowerPoint first. All right. Thank you, Professor William, for giving the opportunity to us to share a bit about the GPA Society. So I think William have talked about a lot about the GPA departments from academic perspective. But perhaps as a student, as a secondary student, you might want to hear a bit about the GPA Society, especially about its activities from a student's perspective. So let me introduce myself first. And my name is Kingston. I'm currently a year 2 GPA major student, and I'm actually the president of this year's GPA Society. So the GPA Society is actually a group of students from the GPA departments. They form a student association, and we usually organize a series of activities for our students to play with each other and get to know with each other. So let us take a look at some of our most significant activities. For example, we have the semester dinner, which usually we hold the dinner at the beginning of each semester. So you see, actually the GPA department is not a really very big department. We have around 200 students in total. So actually we are not a very big group of students. We only have a small group of students. We try to keep a close contact between each student. So it is maybe when you are in secondary school, you only get along with the students from the same year, but actually in the GPA department, we know students from each year very well. So we also have organized the O camp in this year, which is an orientation camp. As you can see, we have a professor and the students playing with each other, and I think having the OCAM would facilitate the freshmen to actually just bind into the department better. One thing special about our activities is that, as you can see, most of our activities are actually not only for the students, but also for the students to actually get contact with the professor. As you can see, there's a Professor Ma playing the football match with us, which is a very unique activity, I would say. And we also have some farewell parties for our graduates. This is some photos taken from this year's farewell ceremony and farewell party. And you can see our some professors are here to celebrate the joy with our graduates. Actually, this one is a little bit special. Actually, in this week, in just this Thursday, we with some students, we go to Professor Ma house to have a communal dining with him. So as you can see, William also mentioned that actually we have a very good student and teacher relationship. It's not we are not trying to keep a far distance to the professor, but we actually keep a very close distance with the professor, and we can actually visit the professor at their house and have some chat and dining with him. And we also participated in the CUHK Arts Fair. So you might not know very well what is the CUHK Arts Fair, but basically it's there's a series of booths that's placed on the main campus. So different student societies would join the arts fair to promote their society. And we also joined the arts fair this year, and we try to promote some local culture to our students. If you just want to find out more information about the society, you're welcome to scan the QR code and have some chat with us. And I'm going to pass the time to Bailey to share the debate team to you all.
So hello everyone, I'm Bailey and I'm from the GPA debate team. And now we are going to introduce what's special for our debate team. And first of all, you may heard that in HKU, you will have a debate team. In CUHK, it's also have a debate team that is university based and debate team. But in here, we are We are the department-based debate team, and we can we in Hong Kong you are hard to find another debate team that's from a faculty or a department, and I think this is quite special for us. And we may think that why we will have a GPA department debate team, and I think that it is quite special that our students in GPA may interested in thinking. They have an interest on the social issues, and during the tutorial lessons they may discuss more. And our way to in the tutorial is to just discuss each other about the political theories or some issues about the politics, but they may want to discuss more, and they may want to explore more and think more. So they may try to form a debate team and try to think more about the social issues by using the knowledge during the classes in GPA. So I think this is quite special because it is to show that in the GPA during the university four-year lessons, they may not only learn in the classes, but we can learn outside the classes and think more in the debate team. Yes. And we may join different matches. We have some friendly matches with other college debate teams. And college debate teams is in university, you may know there are some college like New Asia College, United College, and they will also form a debate team, and we will also have a matches for them. And every year we will have a internal debate competitions, and we will have a debate with other college debate team in Chinese CUHK. And also we will also have the political debate competitions with HKU debate team. And it is quite special that we will debate only on the political issues. And in last matches, we have a debate match about the international relations. And it is also quite special for us because in the matches it is a long history, and we can really show what we learn in the GPA classes and use it during the debate match. Yes. And finally, if you want to know more about the GPA debate team, you may follow our Instagram, and welcome to DM us to ask more questions about no matter about the debate team or our department, or you feel free to ask. And you may also go to our booth and to discuss with us. It is also welcome. Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much for that, guys. It's really good for you to have a student perspective on what life is like for GPA students. And also good for me to have a little bit of a break because I was getting a bit out of breath. I was far too excited talking about Liz Truss. So basically what I want to conclude with, the last thing I want to talk about, is the career prospects for GPA students, and give you a little bit more information about where our students end up. One of the things that you'll notice with our department is that there's a dual focus. On the one hand, we want to equip you for multiple careers, and that involves really giving you a good grounding in transferable skills, which is the kind of skills that you will get from several different types of social sciences subjects. I already mentioned critical thinking. From my own disciplinary background, I work in a subject called political theory, and you might think political theory has nothing at all to do with jobs. It seems that it's very abstract, it's very philosophical, it's not about the real world. That perception is mistaken. The skills that you learn when you do a political theory course will equip you for multiple careers. The main skill I try and teach is analytical thinking. how to break down a problem to its constituent parts. And although this might sound very unrelated to the real world, it's not. It's something that you're going to find if you work for government, if you work for an NGO, if you work in education. You're going to be asked to be problem solvers. You're going to be asked to solve difficult challenges, whether they be societal challenges or whether they be much more local organizational challenges. And being able to step back from that problem, break it down, analyze the relationships between the different parts is going to be a really core transferable skill that you're going to need for pretty much any job that you might want to do after your degree. In addition to this, we obviously will give you a grounding in professional specific skills or particular areas. And those include government, the public sector, NGOs, businesses, legal services. Again, if you look at those particular skills, delivering public speeches, writing policy briefs, collecting and analyzing data for political and policy purposes, yes, these are transferable, but they are also particularly necessary for pursuing those kinds of public sector careers that are mentioned on the slide. And if you look at what we actually offer in terms of career planning, we offer you a lot of resources and supports for thinking about what you want to do with your careers. We'll help organize career talks. We help with networking and alumni. I've already mentioned the external internship programs, which can be very useful for getting to know people and building up connections in industries. Here is an example of some of our alumni, some of these faces that you might recognize, people who've gone into work for various government agencies, people who've gone on to work in the public sector, Hong Kong Monetary Authority. You see people who've worked for NGOs, for consulates, international organizations, and also in the bottom right-hand corner there, academic institutions. Several of our alumni have actually gone on to have academic careers. In fact, I think quite a few of our current staff are alumni of the departments. I think Professor Carlos Lowe, who's our head of department, he's an alumni of the university. Professor Monok, are you an alumni? Yep, Professor Monok is an alumni of the department. It's actually really interesting. I come from England, as you know, and I have to say that for me, one of the really special things about this department is the way in which the alumni stay very close to the department after they leave. So whenever the department has any kind of activity, for instance, we want to have a career talk so we can bring someone to talk to our students about what it's like to work in government. It's actually very easy for us to do that because most of our alumni keep up good relations with the department. That's really not often the case. If you're at a big university in the UK, like Manchester University or the London School of Economics, there really isn't that closeness in the relationship, I think, between alumni and the departments. It's far more of a transactional relationship in my experience. And for me, that's one of the really special things about working in the GPA department, that there is this great relationship between staff and students, among the students, and also between alumni and the department. And this feeds into our support that we offer for your future career. Just a final slide on this, breaking down in some statistical detail where our graduates go. So I think the biggest sort of sector for employment for our students is actually it's commercial corporations. Just it's pretty much equal between civil servants and disciplinary forces and commercial corporations. I mean, this is Hong Kong after all. It is mostly a financial and corporate center. So whatever subject you do, even if you do philosophy, you'll probably find a lot of philosophers going to work in finance. But we have a very high proportion of our students going to work in government. I think that proportion is quite a lot higher than the average of a lot of academic departments in CUHK. Okay, just to wrap up, I would really encourage you to explore GPA Of course, if you're interested in politics and public affairs, there's no better place to study it in Hong Kong. If you're eager to develop critical and intellectual thinking, and finally, if you're ambitious to start your political science related career. Okay, I think